Hey, it's Heather from KDoozy, um, talking to you about hope and privilege this time. So I'm going to talk about how we use the word hope and how that reveals our agency, and then look at our privilege at the same time. And this is because I tend to be speaking to people who are kind of driven by a collapse narrative. Environmental activists, climate change activists, etc. And there's a sense of like, do we feel hopeful? Do we not? Do we feel hopeless, etc. So we're going to look at hope, but it applies to lots of different things. Okay, so look at the way that the word hope is used here. Oh, you're going out tonight? I hope you have a good time. Now, would we say that's kind of an active hope? Like we need to do something to make that happen, or a passive hope? You can pause it and have a think before I go on. I would say this is quite a passive hope, because we would assume in this context that I have nothing to do with what happens to that person's night. And so, it's passive. I just hope. I send good wishes to you. I just hope that you have a good time. I just made a chocolate cake for the first time. I hope it tastes good. Pause the video and have a think. Well, this could be active hope, or at this point, it could be passive hope. If they just finished making the cake and it's coming out of the oven now, that's quite passive because they can't do anything about it. That's it. So that's just sending good wishes to my own cake. If you haven't put it in the oven yet, well, you could still mess it up. So it's like, I hope I don't mess it up. I hope I put it in the oven for the right length of time. I hope it's the right temperature and I do have some control over that. Now, if we say I'm about to make a chocolate cake for the first time, I hope it tastes good. Well, you've got some agency there, right? You can decide to follow the recipe really well, to make some variations to the recipe, all kinds of things. You have a lot more agency, and so it's an active hope. There's no hope. She only has days left to live. Just pause here and notice that could bring up feelings about people you know, that these words were spoken about them or about you. And just notice that we're not in that situation right now in this video. You could be experiencing this with someone in your life right now. And just look around and notice that you're here. And this is just an example. Okay, so with this one, there's no hope. She only has days left to live. Pause the video and think about whether this is active hope, passive hope, what might be going on here. So we don't know, right? We don't know what the context is for this one. It could be that the person who's speaking has stopped trying to do things when there really are other things they could do. Or it could be that the person has tried everything and they think there's no hope. Just really have a think about what it means when we say that. Is there certainty? Is there agency? And take a breath. And in the Facebook group, if you're in that, there's a guide called Hope and Privilege. And in there, you can jot down your thoughts and feelings about the word hope, an example, other examples that you might have, any reflections. You can also request that we do a live workshop so that you can do this in real time with other people. Okay. Now this one I alluded to at the beginning. I feel hopeful about the future. I feel hopeless about the future. We might be touching on really big feelings for you. When we look at what's going on in the UK, the US, the rest of the world, what does that bring up for you? And you can pause the video and reflect on this. So again, the question of whether this is passive or active really depends upon what we're talking about. I'm about to get married and I feel hopeful about the future. Well, you do have a role to play in the marriage and making it a positive thing. I feel hopeless about the future. Are you referring to something that you have some control over or not? Like, are we talking about the sun exploding one day and you feel hopeless about that? Well, you know, it could be that that's going to happen, you know, way in the future and you feel hopeless about it. But if it's feeling hopeless about something that you think you don't have control over, but you actually do have some control over, and there are aspects to activism in that way, then that could be you're acting passively when you actually could be active. So this also brings up what we mean by future. So are we talking about a future where we feel hopeful that we're going to continue, like the future is going to be like now, or the future is going to be better, or the future is going to be worse? What are we talking about when we say the future? Because usually we assume certain things about that, and I want you to think about that. We're going to stop part one right now and think about what we mean by future, and then go to the next video.